so glad you all are here tonight. I wanted to start off by introducing us. I am Erina, the music director. This is Jason, he's a vocalist over here. And this is Papik, he's on vocals and guitar this evening. So I'm going to let them go ahead and get ready for our next song. But I wanted to welcome you all. I wanted to welcome the live stream and also anyone who's new this evening. We won't do anything and embarrass you or whatever, but we are glad you're here. So I ask that you silence your phones if you have not done so already, so as not to interrupt this service. Excuse me. Also, if you're interested in becoming involved in our community, we have some next step cards that are in the front of the pews. So if you'd like to take one of those and fill it out, and then you can drop it in a basket after the service, and we'll get in touch with you. So now, if you would stand up and turn around and say hello to those around you, introduce yourselves. If anyone in the back would feel like moving forward, we'd love to have you down close to us, if you're up for that.
Here are this week's announcements for Unity of Boulder. We are now offering Kundalini Yoga classes every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., taught by our friend Jewel Astor. That's $18 for just a drop-in class, or you could get a 5-class pass for $75 or a 10-class pass for $150. Remember, Kundalini is for everyone. This Sunday, we would also like to invite all of you downstairs to our Goddess Goodness Health, Wellness, and Therapy Room. It is hosted by Lene Desiree. We're having an open house all Sunday, although it's usually open weekly Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It offers chrome light therapy, Zaz therapy, an inversion table, organic juice smoothies, and other healthy treats for the soul. Please come check out the room. We'd love you to see this valuable new resource we have here at Unity of Boulder. And we're having a Source Nia Jam this Thursday, October 3rd at 6 p.m. This will be Nia Dance with live music. It's performed by Liz Addison. And this class will be taught and hosted by multiple Nia instructors, teaching you their Nia choreography, and everyone is welcome. Drop-ins too, free childcare provided. Registration is $25, and the space is limited to 30 students, so sign up today.
Finally, don't forget to check our church calendar for all of the ongoing groups, classes, and events that meet during the week. If you happen to have any further questions about these or any other Unity events, please visit the information table in the lobby after the service.
Thank you, and that's all the announcements for this week.
So we invite you to come into a space of silence, quiet, of reflection. And I'd like to teach you a new song today. So what I'll do is I'll sing a part of it, and then I'll have you repeat it with the gentleman over here. And we'll sing it through a few times. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always and always with me. You are always and always with me. All right, we'll sing that through a few times.
Just take a breath, and if you're comfortable, close your eyes and settle yourself into a centered place. Feeling the presence in this room, the presence within and without, moving in and through each of us, that has brought each individual here today to share in this experience. And as like-minded individuals coming together, we increase and quicken the Spirit moving in and through this room and through our lives. We know that as the world is changing in vast and different ways, this type of gathering remains crucial and important to the health and well-being of this planet and to the consciousness of each individual and the shared consciousness of which we are all a part. We are grateful, Divine. We are grateful, God. We are grateful, Father, Mother, for this beautiful planet, this place, and this time that we get to share. Amen.
I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in a gentle breeze. You are always and always with me.
One more time.
I can feel you in the morning sun. I can see you in the sky above. I can hear you in the gentle breeze. You are always and always with me.
That feels good, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, I liked it anyway. So as long as I liked it, we're all good. Well, I'm excited about this talk series. Even in the last talk series, I was looking forward to getting to this talk series. So it's amazing how a talk series unfolds because you just sort of come up with a concept, and the next thing you know, material just starts pouring in from people and places and things you run into for that. So this has gone in a direction I have not expected, but we're all along for the ride. So here we go. We're going to do this. So for our words of wisdom, it's from this article which says, "Are we living in a simulated universe? Here's what scientists say. If we are living in a simulation, then the cosmos that we are observing is just a tiny piece of the totality of physical existence." So a little over a month ago, I was forwarded this article by one of our congregants, one of our Unity congregants, and I was already familiar with this concept. People have been a buzz about it, but I figured since this came to me, it was time to talk about it on this platform. So that's what we're doing here. There's a lot to get to on this topic, as you can imagine, so it's going to unfold over a series of 4 weeks, this being the first week of that. And part of the reason I wanted to talk about this is to expose how ridiculous of a concept it is, while simultaneously how pertinent and probable it is. So there's a dichotomy there, there's a duality there that we're going to have to go through and work our way through as this process unfolds. But there's so much to uncover in this topic. Just get ready that I'm not going to cover everything you want to hear today. I'm not going to answer all your questions today. It's going to take some time because I'm going to go in some different tangents to get us where we need to go. So, as you know, I like to do. So this week, we're going to specifically address what I call the physical construct of the possible simulation of which this scientific theory is alluding to, which is to say, if we are living in a simulation that we are experiencing right here and right now, then this is the physical construct. This is what we've bought and we've understood to be the physical reality of our existence. So this is the physical construct of which the three-dimensional space we're operating in. So let's get to the article and dive right in because
We've got a lot to get to. And some of these slides are going to have a lot of words on them because there's a lot of stuff I want to get out there. So just be ready for some reading, or you can just take a nap and listen to my soothing voice sweep you away. Calgon, take me away. All right. So the article goes on to say, what if everything around us, the people, the stars overhead, the ground beneath our feet, even our bodies and minds, were an elaborate illusion? What if our world was simply a hyper-realistic simulation with all of us merely characters in some kind of sophisticated video game? So to put this into layman's terms, what if we were living inside a computer program which was designed to make us think that everything around us is real? An elaborate program that could, with 100% accuracy, get us to believe that the life we are living is real, when in fact, it's virtual and is not real. So real, in fact, this program would have to believe that we ourselves are programmed to be self-aware. We are aware of ourselves within this program, so it's a very sophisticated program with fundamental free will in the program to do as we wish. So this is getting very complicated. We would still have independent thought in the program. We'd have to have feelings and actions and reactions to things we experience in the program, but only to the extent of staying within the design and the parameters of the program itself. There would have to be some limits to this program, which would mean we would have free will. We could do what we'd like, what we want. We could do basically anything, except we could not have the ability to expose the program or to discover that we are in a program. They would likely, whoever programmed this, program it in such a way that we would not be able to expose the program or to realize one day, aha, this is a program. So what this article is talking about is basically the plot of the movie The Matrix, right? Nothing new. Most of us seen this movie or a movie with a similar idea. So in the movie The Matrix, nothing we touch is real. And our minds live entirely in this computer program designed to make us think that everything is real. Although in The Matrix, the emotions and the feelings and the internal experiences are still very real. Those are very real, very tangible, because the mind is still having a real experience, right? I want to get this across. The mind is still having a very real experience, just the body's not present, right? So these emotions are still there. Feelings like love and hatred are still experienced. All of those can still be real in the program. But what we love and what we hate is just a figment of the mind. It's not real. So we can still feel love, we can still feel hatred, but what we love and what we hate is just a part of the program putting an image into our mind. Now, the difference between the article's concept of this simulation and what is portrayed in the movie The Matrix is that in The Matrix, we still have a very real body. There's still a real body somewhere. It's just the mind that has been hijacked and is now trapped in this computer program, The Matrix. But the body is still very real. It's only our minds that are trapped. But in the article, what they're proposing, on the other hand, is that nothing is real. We have no body. We have no brain. We have no independent thought. We might have an independent thought, but it really wouldn't be our thought. It would have been programmed to be thinking it's thinking itself. You following? So there would be no body. There's nothing actually physical. It's all just virtual. So we would have no physical body, and everything we know to be reality would be a simulation. There's no aspect of it that is real. Well, you can't get far down the road of simulation theory. So that's what this is called. Simulation theory is what scientists and digital experts are calling this. You can't get far down that road without having to eventually ask the question, who would bother to put such an elaborate simulation together, right? And then the next logical question is, why? Why would anyone put this ridiculous simulation together that we are all experiencing? Billions and billions of individual minds experiencing this ridiculous simulation that something put together. Well, here is the answer that the article puts forth. Who or what is the godlike entity that may have created a simulated universe? One possibility supporters of the simulation hypothesis say is that it's a race of advanced beings, space aliens. Ooh. Even more mind-bending is the possibility is that it's our own descendants, our future selves. Which seems about right. We're always torturing ourselves, so why don't our future selves just have fun to put ourselves in a simulation and mess with ourselves? So it's all, we always bring suffering upon ourselves, so that kind of makes sense. So whether it is our future selves or it is aliens, we could surmise that it would have to be an advanced race with advanced technology and advanced consciousness to put together such an incredibly complex simulation that is so seemingly flawless that we just can't find a place to prove that we're in a simulation. But that still doesn't answer the why. Why would any advanced simulation or advanced civilization waste its time with such a thing? What would be the point of it? Why would they bother with it? So, if we're trying to answer that question, there's a lot of theories out there as to why this might be the case, why another species would do this, but we can't really guess to what that might be because we don't even know who might be doing it. We can't even put our finger on why they might do it because we don't know who might be doing it if in fact it is happening. So nobody can really answer why. They can just come up with conjecture from their own perception of what it could be. But I think if we want to guess at why anything would do this, maybe all we have to do is ask ourselves, why do we currently do this? Apparently, we love simulation games, especially the ones that are very lifelike. And the more lifelike they get, the more we love to play with them. And I don't think we have to stretch too far to try to fathom why this is the case. Obviously, it gives us a chance to play God. Finally, we have a chance to play God. In a world that so often tells us that we're powerless individuals, that we're just victims of our circumstances, that life could come down on us at any time, and we never know when tragedy might strike, the opportunity to play God, of course, we're going to jump at that chance to finally have control of the whole thing. Which brings us to another issue surrounding this topic. Some people might think the idea of this hypothesis or this theory is really hypothetical nonsense, that it really has no base in reality. But is it really possible? This is what they say in the article. That question makes sense to Rich Terrell, a computer scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Detailed as they are, today's best simulations don't involve artificial minds. But Terrell thinks the ability to model sentient beings could soon be within our grasp. We are within a generation of being those gods who create those universes, he says. Does that make anyone else feel a little weary and uncomfortable? Perhaps like your internal moral compass is setting off an alarm. Something's wrong here, something's wrong here, something's wrong here. It certainly does for me, and it brings up a side issue that I want to address. This is sort of a tangent, but this is where this talk has taken me, and we're all along for the ride, whether we like it or not. Who sets the moral code for science? Who is there to say when enough is enough and something is veering off course? If we could construct a simulation like this gentleman was referring to, as real as the life that we're currently living, with self-aware minds within that simulation, and they believe it is real, that they're in this simulation as real as we are right now, should we do that? If we don't think we should do something like that, who is there to stop it from happening? It will just happen. The first person who creates that technology will just do it. There's nothing to stop that from happening. If that person doesn't have a moral compass that says, something's really wrong with this, they will just move forward with it. So science is a miraculous and wonderful thing, but it can also get way off course into some very weird areas.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intentions? pots and pans, bits and pieces, and magic from the handle, making weird science. Things I've never seen before, behind bolted doors, talent and imagination, weird science. Not what teachers said to do, making dreams come true, living tissue, warm flesh, weird science. Oh, plastic tubes and pots and pans, bits and pieces, and bits and pieces, and bits of my creation. Is it real? It's my creation. Ooh, my creation. It's my creation. Weird science. Weird. Weird science. Magic and technology, voodoo dolls and chains, electricity, we're making weird science. Fantasy and microchips, shooting from the hip, something different, we're making weird science. Pictures from a magazine, diagrams and charts, mending broken hearts and making weird science. Something like a recipe, bits and pieces, and bits and pieces, and bits of my creation. Is it real? It's my creation. The kind I know, no hesitation, no heart of gold, it's flesh and blood. I do not know. From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intentions? Ooh, weird science, magic and technology, voodoo dolls and chants. Weird science, things I've never seen before, behind bolted doors. Weird science, not what teachers said to do, bits and pieces, and bits and pieces, and bits of my creation. Is it real? It's my creation. I do not know, no hesitation, no harm to go. It's flesh and blood. I do not know. It's my creation. It's my creation. Ooh, my creation. Ooh, my creation. It's my creation. From my heart and from my hand. Why don't people understand my intentions? Ooh, weird,
Science.
weird science.
I requested that song, had no idea how many lyrics were in that thing, rapidly firing at that pace, so I appreciate them going through that for us. Yeah, they deserve that. So, weird science. These areas of weird science are rushing forward largely unchecked, right? Being led by possibly misguided individuals who are well-funded and backed by blind faith from the public like us. Now, I'm not talking about all science. I want to get that very clear. I'm talking about weird science, or what I would consider the parts of science that have gone off the rails. You following me? Those scientists that think they have replaced God and that they are the most important and only source of valuable information. The ones that think only science can offer a true and viable answer of the world around us and the problems we face. Which brings me back to something that came up in the book from our talk in the last series, the book we were using there. So I'll bring this up. This is from the book, Is Your God Big Enough, Close Enough, You Enough? You've been here through that series. I've seen this plenty of times and you're sick of it. But this just came up in the book as I was putting together the next series, and it was so on point. This is what he said. What is real and how do we know? The modern scientific revolution began in early 17th century Europe. The job of science was to sort out what was true and real from what was myth, superstition, and fantasy. Before the modern scientific era, religious beliefs and priests called the shots about what was true and real. So there was a time when only 1 in 1,000 people could read. And those that did read were mostly the religious elite at the time. This gave them the power over information and the power over the interpretation of that information to the masses. They were the only source between the masses and information. And the masses couldn't contradict what they said because they didn't have access or the ability to understand the information. They couldn't get to the information, and even if they could get to the information, they couldn't read it, and they couldn't understand it. So therefore, they couldn't contradict what was being told to them. For example, if you were told that God sat in the clouds and was casting judgment down upon you, you really had no means to prove otherwise. You really had no means to object and say, I don't think that's the case, because you had no way of proving that. This is what he goes on to say. In the modern era, science and scientists determine what is true and real. Because of this, science has been able to bring about incredible progress in our understanding the world and rapid advancement in medicine and technology. However, sometimes science has led to scientism, which is an overvaluing of science compared to other kinds of knowing. Little did we know that when science arrived on the scene, a power struggle began. And that is why science and religion have been at odds for so long. Science was taking religion's power away a little bit at a time, and it continues to do so today in a very big way. And just like any time the pendulum swings in the power struggle, it can overcorrect. Instead of finding balance in the middle, it can swing too far in another direction. So it goes on to say, it is one thing to celebrate science for its achievements and remarkable ability to explain a wide variety of phenomena in the natural world, but scientism claims there is nothing knowable outside the scope of science. Once you accept that science is the only source of human knowledge, you have adopted a philosophical position, scientism, that cannot be verified or falsified by science itself. This is, of course, unscientific. We have once again arrived at a place where an authoritative group interprets the information to the masses, and we are not to question it. Only science can question science, and outside sources like empirical evidence, or intuition, or observation, or tradition, or ceremony, or nature, or instinct, or simple logic and reasoning are no longer relevant and allowed. And we follow blindly the leaders of science just as we once followed blindly the leaders of religion. The new, dogmatic, closed-minded religion in town is scientism. And if you look at the numbers, as in terms of religion, scientism is the fastest growing religion on the planet today. And by far, the most widespread globally and the most powerful religion that has ever landed on this planet in any point in time. And just like any self-appointed power authority, it has become aggressive towards anyone who disagrees with it. So this is from another author, a book I'm reading right now. This is what he says. The closed-minded orthodoxy of religion is equaled or exceeded by the closed-minded orthodoxy of scientists who in our society have become the new high priest. And this is he's a ER doctor, so he has a little experience. He says, remember, scientists are humans first and scientists later. So they have all the failings and all the foibles of humans. They too can become fanatical and dogmatic in the belief system in which they have been indoctrinated in lieu of searching for the truth. Let me repeat. I am not talking about all science and all scientists. It will likely be the wonderful environmental scientists that come to a solution and solve this world climate issue we are facing today. But every group, religion, or organization has its extremists. And extremists are dangerous, no matter where they show up. So let me show you something. You've probably heard this quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson. The good thing about science is that it's true, whether or not you believe in it. This is a very popular quote that you'll find on t-shirts, you'll find on bumper stickers, you'll find it all over the internet on memes and tweets and stuff happening. Big science fans use this quote to reference very often. At first read, it might appear harmless. Now let me show you another quote I found that's very similar. There is only one true God, the God of the Bible, the Father of the Lord Jesus Christ. Your inability to recognize and understand this in no way affects the truth of this matter. I think we can recognize that this quote is a form of religious extremism. It closes the door on any possible other solution, or any other possible thought system, or any other suggestion of a possibility. And it is a veiled threat to anyone with a differing opinion. Now let's go back to Neil's quote. The good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it. These are essentially the same quote, except the word God has been replaced with the word science. Do you see what is happening today? And the original religious authority who is saying it has been replaced with a scientific authority. So again, I'm not saying this is all scientists and all science. We just need to be aware of who is working with a conscience and towards truth, and who may be getting off track. Who might be listening to their ego a little much and believing how flawless and superior and necessary they are for the rest of us. Mandating that we inject their products into our bodies and into the bodies of our children, programming us to believe that we are chemical creatures that can only be healed with chemical solutions. In this world, there is no soul, there is no spirit, there is no God. There's only the power of the physical intellect. So here is how this giant tangent I just went on relates to our topic today of the simulated universe. We now have scientists pondering the concept that an intelligence far greater than our own might have created this experience in which we are now living. And the funny part is that they are approaching it as if it is a new idea that they came up with. So this is another quote from the article. It says, "Yet there's a familiar ring to the idea that there's a simulator or creator who does care about us. Similarly, the idea of a superior being forging a simulated universe parallels the notion of a deity creating the world, for example, as described in the book of Genesis." Are we living in a simulation? This is not a new question. In fact, this is one of the oldest questions that humanity has pondered since the beginning of time. For thousands and thousands of years, we've looked at this question from the Vedas in India to the Old Testament in the Middle East to native traditions around the world and countless religions that have all asked this same question. The only difference is today, science is culturally and religiously appropriating the idea as its own, and only slightly changing it from the grand designer being God to now it is aliens, and changing the grand design itself from the will of the divine to a simulated computer program. And voila! Now we have this new and innovative idea to ponder. Thank you, science, for being so cutting edge. And if they take this one step further, eventually, believers in this simulation theory might discover a process, a 7-step process that the hyper-intelligent alien beings used to create this simulation. Day 1, they separated light from darkness. Day 2, they separated the waters from above and below. You get the point. Maybe this is how they created this simulated universe. Wouldn't that be mind-blowing? So I would like to pose this question to the proponents of simulation theory. If we are in a simulation created by some other highly intelligent beings, is it not then highly possible that they are also in a simulation created by even more intelligent beings, and that they are in a simulation of an even more intelligent life form. And that ultimately we could discover that there is one grand intelligence that has created all of the simulations that all of us have deluded ourselves into thinking is real. So the answer to the question, are we living in a simulation, is yes, of course we are. Don't bother doing a second more research. You're wasting your time. We are absolutely living in a simulation. That is actually not a very interesting question at all. It's a 1,000-year-old beaten to death question. What I find interesting is the question that we should be asking ourselves. Which simulation am I living in? Which simulation am I living in? So join us next week as we dive further into this topic and we begin to look at the mental construct. Today was the physical construct. Next week will be the mental construct, and that is the truth as I experience it. We're going to go into a moment of silence for us to take this concept, take these understandings, and bring them deeper into our awareness.
In the still small voice, listen for an answer. It may be a whisper, sounding like a dream. In the still small voice, there will be an answer. It is the voice of God. Listen for the voice of God.
And we just take a breath and we settle down into our seats, allowing the mind to settle, allowing the heart to slow down and the breathing to relax. Knowing that we don't have to figure it all out. We don't have to have the answers. It really doesn't matter if this is real or fake, if this experience is genuine or made up. No matter what is really going on, we simply have an opportunity for joy in this moment. Whether I think the world is against me or for me, whether I think I'm abundant or constantly in a place of lack, whether I'm in a place of health or seeming illness, whether my life is filled with fear or hope, each and every one of us has an equal access and opportunity to the presence of joy, which is not out there, not built by the people and the things in this life, but simply rests within when willing to slow down and chill out and just be. It is in the silence that we begin to know and realize what reality truly is. Unwavering peace, unwavering joy, unconditional love. And so we go forth now from this silent experience, holding on to this place of peace and joy and light, to bring it on to the rest of our day and the rest of our week. With gratitude, we give thanks. We say amen. So it is, and namaste. Okay. I appreciate all you being here. You're welcome to keep meditating or praying or doing whatever you're doing. This is normally the part of the service where you might take an offering or pass the basket or pass the plate. But we're going with a different strategy for the Saturday service. We're going for igniting that energy within you, that natural giver within you to do what comes naturally, which is to give, which is to spread this source of life, this movement of abundance that's supposed to be moving through us and into this world. Not to stop in our pockets, not to stop at our car payments, not to stop in our house payments. But we're supposed to be taking the abundance of the universe and moving it forward into the experience and sharing it with everyone around us. That's how God spreads this love of abundance into this world. And if it stops in our pockets and it stops at our car payment and stops at our house payment, we have dammed up the prosperous flow of abundance in our own lives, and then we wonder why we struggle. So I invite you to do what comes naturally, and we have many ways to give and to be a part of this community through service, through financial donations. We have texting, we have an app, we have recurring donations that you can sign up for through the app. Many ways to give online, and if you're watching us online, I invite you to join us in this process at your leisure. To be a part of this experience, a part of moving this prosperous flow out into the universe and out into your life. To be a part of it, not just to watch it happen. So in the Saturday service, we like to have what we call the spotlight, which is to feature something that's happening in our community, a person or event or a thing. And this week I have a special opportunity. We actually have a congregant that is hardly ever physically here in this space that want to share a message with us that we're going to get to watch right now.
Hello, Unity of Boulder community. My name's Todd Bethune. I'd like to say, hey, you probably recognize me from Saturday night or Sunday services, but you don't, because I'm an over-the-road trucker. I was approached by Reverend Shad just to do a quick little selfie video to talk about the importance of Unity of Boulder in my life as a over-the-road trucker and remaining connected via live stream and having the outreach of messaging and that kind of thing just to stay kind of grounded. Been a great thing. Moved to the Boulder region a little over a year ago from Michigan. Have background at Unity of Bay City, Michigan, music directing there in a Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church in Freeland, Michigan, as well as music retail background and performance and such. Really felt when I got to Unity of Boulder last year, really felt my heart being called home. Felt at peace in the sanctuary and other places of the church. Made the decision to start my own freight line hauling business, and I got on the road last October, and I've been able to remain dedicated and in touch with Unity of Boulder through their use of technology and live streaming. It's a great thing. I encourage those of you your heart is called to do so, and this is something you believe in. Help the church financially. If it means something to you, it's a great way just to keep things in our community going strong and continuing to do what they set out to do. And if you believe in it, help them out that way. I certainly try to. You all have a great couple of weeks coming up here, and hopefully I'll see you in Boulder sometime soon. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
So thanks to scientists who created the technology of live streaming, Todd actually gets to stay engaged as an active congregant and watches our Saturday services and our Sunday services while he's on the road and continues to give. And he actually messages with me, and we stay in touch while he's out there. And when he comes back, we get to go out to lunch and be a part of this experience with him. So I think that's absolutely amazing. So happy that he was willing to share that with us. All right, time for some beautiful music.
I'm going to sing you one of the songs that I wrote. In addition to doing this, I also am a singer-songwriter, doing my own stuff. This song is, it's not really asking you all to do anything here in this moment, but it is asking you all to do something when you leave here. This song is sort of addressing the importance of following what it is that makes your heart shine and putting that in the forefront of your mind and getting it out there for the world to see. Because each of us have a gift that we're meant to come and share. And there's little voices inside of our heads that say we're not good enough sometimes, or, we can't do a certain thing. Ignore them. Continue to go forward and continue to do what it is that is your passion. For me, it is music and healing. I'm a sound healer. They go together very well. So I'm calling you forth. The song is called Here Within Solidarity, and in the chorus it says, won't you stand here within solidarity? That's what I'm talking about. What's in your heart? Bring it forward. Embrace the pattern forming severed from the paradigm where we fractalize and suffer on our own. Ignite and propagate the inner monologue which burns to be shouted from atop of every home. Won't you stand here within solidarity before our dreams fade away? Yeah. Ignore, alleviate, or rise above the frequencies that will agitate us to our very core. Transcend the pain we seek to vast increasing harmony that's extended from the hearts of everyone. Won't you stand here within solidarity before our love fades away? Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Love you all.
Well, I definitely want to thank all the volunteers that make this possible. We have incredible talent. Obviously, Papik's showing us that. And what I really enjoy is that if I have a talk that I just phoned in and totally tanks, we got great music anyway, right? So you just have to make it through the 10 or 15 minutes I'm up here, and you'll get back to the good music. So we do have, these are available on Facebook and our website if you want to go back and watch them again or watch past ones or share them with your friends. And after this, we are going to go over to the fellowship hall. We'll have tea and cookies, and you can ask questions or give comments. If you have any for me, I'll be there. And then I'm speaking for my sister Cintisha tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, so I'll be giving this talk again. If you feel like you missed anything and you want to come up with and see it again, then do that. We also have the 9 a.m. service tomorrow. Well, Jack will be doing a meditative contemplative service, and he'll be giving a talk there as well. So that is that experience, and I appreciate you all being here and taking time out of your Saturday. And that's all we got, so get out of here.